again. Yes, we're on air again. I just clicked the illuminated on air sign for me. We're back. You're listening to IBGR.network, and IBGR is our call sign of a radio station. But of course, we're much more than a radio station. We're an amazing group of people from around the world, globally in many countries, more than 40 hosts already, and there's more coming. People are all in the adverts. We're always asking if you are an entrepreneur and you've got a passion for finance or people or customers, organization or executives. If you have a passion for that and you want to join us to add value to the people around the world, because we're now in more than 152 countries around the world. If you have that passion, come and connect with us. It's sales@ibgi.network. Send an email to them and show your interest, because we always can do with many more good people to share from their heart and from their knowledge and their experience to help other people, because you, the listener, the viewer, are important. I hope that makes a bit of sense here. Now, we only have a short session left, but as I said before, also before I go any further, you can join us at IBGR Radio. You can join the platform. You can hit the question button there and ask questions. But also here, you can ask questions if I can't get to them just now, because I'm so excited about all this stuff. You can actually always. I will get back to you afterwards. And if there is something you want to know about the people side of business, about the people side, let us know, because we will do our best to talk into it, because you, the listener, you, the viewer, are the most important, of course. And also our social networks, social media, like we're on Facebook. I'm on Facebook Live just now. LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. We've got a YouTube, we've got a Twitter. And of course, download our amazing app where you can connect with our hosts. You can download our podcast. There is so much for everybody. So like and share this. It doesn't matter if you're on radio, you can still like and share this with other people. But like and share this with other people, because there is enough for everybody to benefit from it, especially if you are now deciding on an entrepreneurial journey or you're on there. And that's why also the Cubimo platform is so important, because there is so much information, but there we really want to focus on money and mindset, on self-care, on what you need to do. You can connect with coaches, with mentors. You can follow a whole program, so you can go from your idea, from your concept to the birth of your business, whether it's a courses or products. You can actually put them online already. If you just sign up online in Cubimo and go there and sign up, get your presence there. And if you've got ideas already or you've got products, you can put them there. You've got a website web shop within 15 minutes. The affiliate links are also going to be ready for that very soon. But IBGR have also are partnering with Cubimo, so they're both very important to your well-being as an entrepreneur. There's me. That was a commercial break, if you like. But it is wonderful. And, when I just talked about the 16 symptoms, how are you doing on all these 16? And is there room for improvement? Now, for me, there is. I don't even have to lie about it. But as you know already, I'm Jan Robberts, your host this season, this session, the Inspirational Entrepreneur. And you can also go down to the website and download my show notes, and there is also a link to the Think and Grow Rich book, which is very important, because there is the chapter of persistence, but there is so much more there that has to do with your mindset. But persistence is a state of mind, therefore it can be cultivated. Get that right. Like all states of mind, persistence is based upon a definite cause. Amongst them, these. I'm going to talk into these 8 points, which will be a great starting point to become more persistent. Now, I'm going to go through them first, and again, they come from the great book Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to go through them first before I do my talk about that amazing exercise that you need to do. But this is what you need to do to become more persistent. And the first one is definiteness of purpose. Knowing what you want is the first and perhaps the most important step towards developing persistence. A strong motive forces one to surmount many difficulties. I said it already. I talked in it last week. So if you missed that, I talk about how important your why is. It's not just another nice to have, the same as persistence, but it's your GPS for success. So go back and download the podcast from last season, or just listen to them about your why, because it's so important. It's the most important. Even Napoleon Hill said that in this phenomenal book from 1937, the year my dad was born as well. Phenomenal man. And the second one is desire. It is comparatively easy to acquire and to maintain persistence in pursuit of in pursuing the object of intense desire. You hear that why coming back again, and desire is the first chapter in that book. Now the next one is self-reliance. Belief in one's own ability to carry on a plan encourages one to follow the plan through with persistence. Self-reliance can be developed through the principle described in the chapter on autosuggestion. So they're all coming in there, but desire is there, persistence talks into it, and self-reliance is key. We are all able, you matter, and you have within you what you need to get started. You just can go and join us at IBGR and join us at QBMO to get all the knowledge and skills and the know-how from the experts around the world who are more willing and able to help you from their experience and everything that goes around there. The definiteness of plan is important. So what does your plan look like? Even though they may be weak and extremely impractical, they will encourage persistence. So your plan doesn't have to be perfect. If you think you need to be perfect before you ever start, if you think all the lights have to be green before you take your car out of the garage, it's going to get rusty in there, I tell you. But it's never going to do any miles. Accurate knowledge. So knowing that one's plans are sound based upon experience in observation encourages persistence. Guessing instead of knowing destroys persistence. Guessing instead of knowing. You need to have the knowledge. I talked into that already, that we need to upskill our knowledge sometimes. What knowledge do we need to get? Do we need to have some skills that we don't have? Do we need to get to know ourselves, which I'm going to talk into next week? Do we need to get communication skills, because we're now going to be involved much more with clients, with maybe joint venture partners, with venture capital people, with the banks, with suppliers. There is so much, and our clients, we need to learn to communicate properly. Cooperation, sympathy, understanding, and harmonious cooperation with others tends to develop persistence. So cooperate with others, joint ventures partners, strategic partners. We are strategic partners with different organizations already, because it's much better together. Willpower. Oh, there you go. The habit of concentrating one's thoughts upon the building of plans of the attainment of the definite purpose leads to persistence. I will until, remember? And of course, the 8th one is the habit. Persistence is the direct result of habits. The mind absorbs and becomes a part of the daily experiences upon which it feeds. Fear, the worst of all enemies, can be effectively cured by forced repetition of acts of courage. Courage. Everyone who has seen active service is well known of that. In war, of course, knows this, of course. And they don't do it because they have no fears. But Winston Churchill said it, of course, to go from failure to failure until you succeed, without lack of this enthusiasm until you succeed. And when you hear some of the stories of heroism, that is not because they didn't have fear, but they brought that courage. And the persistence of people, not of course with war, but the persistence is key. These are eight points that, when you keep doing certain things, they become habits. Habits are behaviors that you can use. We talk about different habits, and thoughts become actions. Actions become habits, and habits create your destiny. They become your destiny. That is in our values-based leadership program. Every week we do that, and every week that's the last line we talk about, because everything starts with thoughts. So these things need to get in your thoughts, and you need to start acting upon them, because there is no power. There is no power in knowing stuff. There is only power in acting upon it. Leadership also talks into that, how we are better leaders when we listen instead of when we talk. There's so many leaders who want to talk and talk and talk, and then they all of a sudden are surprised they haven't got that many followers. But leadership is built on influence, and influence you get by building relationship, and building relationships you get by asking better questions, and asking better questions is by learning to listen. The power of listening is often so undervalued, and it is so necessary. But take inventory of yourself and determine in what particularly, if any of these areas you're lacking of these essential qualities. Measure yourself courageously. In all these 8, measure yourself from a scale of 1 to 10. 1, you're actually rubbish at it, and 10, you're perfect, which is seriously dangerous. And see how many of these factors of persistence you actually lack in. And the analysis might lead to discoveries that will give you the new grip of yourself, a new grip on your life. My journey is continuing. my journey of personal development started really at age 17. Bullying, and then an ulcer, and enough is enough. And then I got my first book, Think and Grow Rich, by Dale Carnegie. And so important. All these books are so important. But it is continuing to this day, and every day I do something to improve myself, including this is for me, improving myself, because I excite myself with all this kind of stuff, to be able to impart this, to share this, and to learn more about this. I want to quickly share that exercise with you. Now, that's why I put the link of the book Think and Grow Rich in here, because chapter 9 is a chapter of persistence. Now, here is an exercise for you, and I highly recommend this. I've done it several times, and I know my friend Mikkel has done this as well, and can also talk about it. But the chapter of persistence, it's about 17 pages. Here's my action step for you. Read that chapter, download the book for free, read that chapter 14 days in a row. They do 10 days as well, but I want you to read it 14 days in a row. No auto cues, no nothing, no skipping anything, reading it physically every day for 14 days. Now, from the first word to the last, and after about 8 days, you might say, oh, I've read about Mrs. Simpson, and I've read about the Prophet Muhammad and all that. I can skip that story. No, everything for 14 days. However, if you miss one day, you need to start again on day 1. So even if you're on day 13 and you miss day 13, you can't just say, oh, I'll do day 14, because you are your best. You are responsible for your own actions. And there's people who've taken a month or more to finish those 14 days, because every time persistence is key. Now, if you cannot do that, people, then you need to work on your persistence even more so. But the discussions you have with yourself are amazing. I've seen myself at 11:30 at night to get out of bed, because I'd done so much during the day I'd forgot, and I did it. And I waited till after 12 o'clock and did it again for the next day. But do that exercise, and make sure, I would say, get up half an hour early every morning.